This is Brian from the soon-to-be champion Skybusters, and you are listening to Josh and Gar on the Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix on Spotify.
Ooh, awkward. I don't know how to tell Brian this, but he is not the soon-to-be champion. Yikes. All right. It is Saturday, December 31st, 2022, 8 a.m. sharp. Josh, it is literally the last day of this year, and I think, like most people, I am happy to see it go. But hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix podcast. I am one of your lovely hostesses, the Garlic Johnson. We are joined, as always, by our other lovely hostess, the Josh and Mitchell. Josh, say hi to the folks out there.
Folks.
We appreciate everyone who chats along with us in the Discord. Had a couple good discussions going this week. Got Russell Wilson and such. So appreciate people chatting along. Segment start times are down in the description below. And thank you at Levi Oki Illustration for all the beautiful art you can see. I can't tell if my voice sounds flighty or not, but there's like a tickle in my throat. And it is annoying me pretty bad. Josh, how we doing?
How are you, Gar? It sounds, your voice does sound a little bit off, but it's okay.
I sound like a frog. It's so weak because, I don't feel sick. There's just like some sort of pocket of mucus in my throat, and it's annoying.
Are you trying to channel your inner Patrick Mahomes?
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure if I were to go gargle some salt water, maybe that would do the trick. But I'm not moving from this couch, so we'll have to deal for half an hour or so. But Josh, New Year's is upon us. I mean, we obviously just talked on Tuesday. We've already talked about Christmas and stuff. But now you have a 1-year-old. You're kind of transitioning into actual adult life. How do we feel about New Year's Eve with a 1-year-old?
Well, I guess, just go about it like I usually do. To me, it hasn't changed
Get blackout
a whole lot.
And then, hope the kid's still alive in the morning.
Yeah, it hasn't changed a whole lot from having a child and not having a child. I'll probably, be relaxing and enjoying my time, maybe sipping a hot cup of tea around 8 o'clock, getting ready for bed.
That doesn't sound right. You play Xbox until 11.
10. And then I sit around and act like I'm going to get ready for bed till 11.
There you go.
But I mean, we'll see. I might make an appearance at the Morissettes.
What?
I haven't necessarily decided yet. Just because I don't want to leave Nikita with Asher, and I don't know if we want to bring Asher with. And if we do bring Asher with, it wouldn't be for a very long time. So we just got a whole lot to decide on.
I mean, that's what the grandparents are for, right? The built-in, just dump off the kid and say, "See you later, pal."
Kinda, but we don't want to, make it be a late night for them or for him, and so his sleep schedule, if it gets messed up, it is not necessarily fun to correct. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the day shakes out. But yeah, other than that, life's good. I beat High on Life, which was on Game Pass.
Are you high now? Going back to your college days?
No, because I don't know if you've heard about the game, but the premise of it is that you're trying to save humanity because aliens are using humans as drugs.
What?
And so I'm not like that. I don't use humans as drugs.
Maybe that's your problem. Maybe you should.
Maybe.
All right, but yeah, no, New Year's Eve, we've been going to the Morissettes for quite some time, and we don't have to sit here and reminisce. It's not the podcast we're doing, but definitely, since there's a possibility that this could be the last year we at least do it at, Donnie's house, which is the house we've been doing it at since we were, I don't know, fucking 8 or whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna try and appreciate maybe just a little bit extra. Of course, the people will also be around, but maybe flip some shit and then let Donnie kick me out of her house one more time, just if we're feeling froggy. So, but all right, anything else, Josh? Anything else you want to cover about life in general before we get into the start sit here, pal? It is championship weekend.
No, I think we're good. So we can get right into our start sits. Since last week we did the movie kind of votes and everything, we'll just say we went 5 for 5.
Plus 100 fantasy points.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess we can exclude that from the totals, but overall we're 45 for 74 with a positive 173.53. So bravo to us,
ladies.
we have officially led everybody in the entire universe that's in the championship game to the championship game. So you're welcome.
You are welcome.
We're going to start off with some Purdy White guys, and that's going to be Mike White at Seattle versus Brock Purdy at Las Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, Mike White has been lighting it on fire. Whereas Brock Purdy, I don't think he's had a fantasy performance above like 2025, has he? I don't know. I usually have the tail of the tape up. I usually pull up all the players on Sleeper. I don't have that set up today. So, do you happen to know?
No, I don't have it pulled up on my phone yet. I'm not a big tail of the tape guy. Well, I guess I do like the tail of the tape. It is kind of a fun thing, but I'm just, at this point in time, I'm going to have to say Brock Purdy just because he's shown consistency with his ability to get the ball out, play well, and Mike White, he has some ups and downs, but he is going against an easier defense, so I'm trying to pull it up in Vamp at the same time, but I get distracted quite easily.
I guess, the big reason to ask is Mike White. I mean, as the names were popping out to me on the screen, I thought Mike White appealed to me more, but...
Well, let's just find out. David Blau is starting in Arizona. That's a fun fact.
David Blau? Hard Knocks stud?
Yep. Let's see. Mike White here, his game log.
Wow, this is quite the vamp, Josh. How long does it take for you to look something up on your phone these days?
Well, he hasn't played in a couple weeks, but when he did play, he played against Buffalo. He put up 10 points. The week before that, it was at Minnesota, 17, and then before that, it was at home versus Chicago, where he put up 25. So, he's trending down. He's lost 7 points each time, and if
but I mean, playing that stalwart Minnesota defense is tough, and then Buffalo's okay too, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he threw the ball like 150 times in those 3 games, so he's yucking the rock around. I don't have Brock Purdy pulled up. Do you, by chance, have Purdy ready to go?
I sure don't, but I mean, if you like Purdy better, we can just go with Purdy. That's fine. I don't care, dude. It's championship week. How many people are looking to us for start sit on this week, really?
So yeah, Brock Purdy's pretty consistent right around that 15 to 17 range. And so yeah, he's shown a little bit more consistency in his scoring. He's going up against Las Vegas, which is another easier defense as well. So I'd be fine with Purdy.
All right, Brock Purdy it is. Moving on to the next one, Josh. We have Brad's Night Foreman. We have Donta Foreman, running back for the Texans. Who does Donta Foreman play for?
Carolina.
Donta Foreman, running back for the Carolina Panthers, like I knew the whole time, playing at Tampa Bay. And then Zonovan Knight, I think, a.k.a. Boom Knight or something like that. I think he has a nickname now. Running back for the New York Jets, playing at Seattle. Josh, who jumps off of the page to you first, Donta Foreman or Zonovan Knight?
Off the page first, probably Donta Foreman, because last week I believe he had like 100 to 400 rushing yards.
Is that good?
And so that running offense has been doing stellar since that bum CMC left town. But then Zonovan Knight, he is going up against, I believe, the 31st ranked rush defense. So the matchup is juicier for Zonovan, but I think Foreman gets the work a little bit more. He's shown that he can be consistent against a solid defense. And so I would lean Donta in this situation. The true Achilles tendon hero.
The true Achilles tendon hero. All right. God damn it. All right. Yeah, I'm fine with Donta Foreman. I don't care. Moving on, Josh. We have a jet versus a cheetah, the fastest land animal versus the fastest sky machine. We have Tyreek Hill, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, playing at New England, versus Justin Jefferson, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, playing at Green Bay. And Josh, this one is obviously Justin Jefferson by a mile. Why even put this one down here, pal?
Because it's not necessarily obvious Justin Jefferson by a mile.
Oh, it's obvious.
That's who I'm leaning, but
you got Teddy Bridgewater playing against Billy B. Teddy B's gonna be out there seeing fucking ghosts, dude. He's can't even throw the ball 15 yards. Justin Jefferson, meanwhile, playing the garbage Green Bay defense, going to put up 400 yards, 8 touchdowns, and then, the second quarter is going to happen. No big deal.
Yeah, you're probably right, but it is kind of embarrassing that, he got traded to Green Bay the day before the game. So Minnesota's defense is that bad.
What was the trade?
We gave Kirk another chain.
Oh, seems fair to me.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Joe Barry has a little trick up his sleeve where he has Preston Smith guarding Justin Jefferson again.
But they'll never see it come. Maybe you guys will start punting it on first down just to throw our defense off.
With how bad your defense is, we probably could still get away with a victory.
Jesus.
No,
we beat you last time, pal. Your first loss of the season. We set the whole momentum for you. Be careful.
Yeah, that's true. And you guys do have that horseshoe lodged in your rectums with all these one-score games.
11-0, baby.
I did find it funny that everybody's mocking the whole worst 11, whatever your record is, 11-2 team. What is
12-3? I think.
12-3 team, worst 12-3 team of all time. Everyone's mocking that because everybody said that was Green Bay when they went 13.
Because stats.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you saw the DVOA, which is the value of adjustment or whatever. The Minnesota Vikings are like a negative, which they should technically be like 500, but based on the stats alone, I don't know. I thought it was an interesting stat, not necessarily the truth because stats do lie, but.
Get over it. Vikes are good.
Yeah, does that include their special teams, Walters?
Does that include the Greg Joseph?
But I do think that Justin Jefferson is a safer play in this pick.
Yeah, I love Justin Jefferson this week. Not because I need him to in any leagues or anything. God, please. We've got the Who Cares, Josh. Next, you have Tyler Higbee, tight end for the Los Angeles Rams, playing at the Los Angeles Chargers, versus Evan Ingram, tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars, playing at Houston. I believe we'll get into it in a moment, but I believe Bradley's going dual tight ends, and I believe he has Tyler Higbee in his flex right now. So is that a smart move? He's obviously not going against Evan Ingram, but is Higbee the play this week, or should we keep the fire going with Ingram?
I think that Ingram's kind of the way to go, just because he's had multiple weeks with 10+ targets, it seems. And so that's kind of who I'd be going with. But Brad has Higbee in his flex because the only other options are Jeff Wilson, Caleb Huntley, and Isaiah McKenzie. And so he'd be better off leaving his flex blank than playing any of those three guys. So having Tyler Higbee in there isn't a bad call. Tyler Higbee has, last week he had 30 points. The week before that he had 13. So he's been involved in that offense a little bit more as of late. I believe you said he played for the Chargers, but he's going against the Chargers. He's a Rams.
I said he plays for the Los Angeles Rams, playing at the Los Angeles Chargers. Get your fucking facts straight.
Well, I wasn't necessarily listening because why would I listen to you? And so Evan Ingram is going to be, he's had 4 weeks where he scored 14 or more points, including the week where he put up 39 against Tennessee. Going up against that Houston defense, which is a decent pass defense, but not necessarily the best defense overall. I'd go with Ingram just because of his consistency the past, month.
All right, who's in the last one here, Josh?
We've got league contributors, meaning that they have played in games of football throughout the season, and they may or may not have contributed to Fantasy League, but they've definitely contributed to the NFL League.
They're out there playing for sure.
Yep, we've got Georgie Kittle at Las Vegas, Drake London versus Arizona, Amari Cooper at Washington, or DeAndre Swift versus Chicago. Carr, speak.
Sit, boo-boo, sit. Yeah, I think... the first thing that pops off the page to me, I guess, would just be Amari Cooper, just because he has that biggest name on the list. He is one of the favorite targets of the Deshaun Watson, who has not been very good fantasy-wise since he returned. So that's just my initial thought. I do know Washington is also, though, probably the best defense on that list, so that makes it a little bit tougher. They're going to get after the quarterback for sure. DeAndre Swift, again, is the second biggest name. I don't think he'd be second, though, because DeAndre Swift has been absolutely garbage all year. So, I mean, if I had to put these in order, I'd probably go Amari Cooper, then George Kittle, then Drake London, because Desmond Ridder continues to play out there, and then DeAndre Swift last. That's how I'd kind of order it out. Again, without going over the tail of the tape, who really cares? But that's what I'm feeling. What do you think, Josh?
Well, you see, to be honest, I'd have Cooper third. I'd go with Kittle, Swift, Cooper, and then London. And Cooper and London are pretty close. Just because Cooper, even though he's been the favorite target of Deshaun Watson, he's only scored more than 10 points once in full point PPR. That offense is atrocious. Washington's defense is solid.
Deshaun Watson's only played like 3 games.
4. But so in the 4 games that Amari Cooper and him have played together, he's only scored over 10 once in full point PPR. DeAndre Swift, on the other hand, he put up a solid 3 points last week. But they're going against Chicago. Jamal Williams has been kind of on the injury report. I don't think he's on it anymore, but I think he has a little bit more opportunity to play and get some snaps because he's coming back from that injury. Kittle has had that rapport with Purdy, which is why he's going to be in my top slot. I'm trying to find the tail of the tape since you're being lazy bum this morning. So Kittle's had 4 touchdowns in the past 2 weeks. Obviously, that is not going to be a sustainable effort, but, he's been getting the ball a lot. He's been putting up yards. He's had 93 and 120 yards the last 2 weeks when he scored those 2 touchdowns. I do think that he's going to continue getting targets. And so that's why he's in the lead for me.
All right, yeah, Kittle's fine. I don't really care, dude. Because I am being lazy this week, like you said. Let's move on here, Josh, to the FanDuel favorites, huh, pal?
Nah.
Don't want to?
Yeah, well, okay. I'll go first since I have one. I put DJ Chark going up against Chicago. You said it's quietly a solid year. He's had some down weeks. He's been injured, but when he does play and he does have the targets, he's been doing solid. And so I'm going to go with DJ Chark in this one.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and keep it within the NFC North. I like Justin Fields for 8,400 playing at Detroit. Detroit, their defense has picked it up, for a couple weeks. They're still not very good at all. And Justin Fields put up 40 against the Detroit defense last time they played. They're playing at Detroit, so it'll be a nice dome. Don't have to worry about conditions or this or that. Beautiful, perfect playing conditions for Justin Fields, so I like him to put up at least 30 this week. And/or I like Cousins. Cousins has been on fire the last couple weeks, and so I expect him just to continue to perform. We expect the Green Bay to be tough because of that Green Bay team. A lot of people, not me, let's be very clear, not me, have said from like 5-8 or whatever their worst record was, their lowest point, and I said I won't believe the Green Bay Packers are dead until the clock hits 0 on Week 18, and they have not made the playoffs. So the Green Bay Packers are trying to stay relevant, trying to stay in it, trying to sneak in. And so there's plenty to play for on both sides of the ball. And so we've definitely, Kirk Cousins, I believe, has won his last 3 games against Green Bay. And, of course, he missed one of the games for COVID. So it's not like, the Vikings are undefeated against last Green Bay. But Kirk Cousins, I believe, he's either won or not lost his last 3 games at Green Bay. So I know there's that tie in there, but I thought that tie was many years ago. Anyways, Kirk performs pretty well against Green Bay is the ultimate point. And so it's outside, and so unless it's going to be some big snowball, I like Kirk Cousins to perform well this week as well at Green Bay. And Kirk Cousins is, of course, again, Brian, the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. Josh, unless you want to rebut my Kirk Cousins take, who do you like to bust this week in the FanDuel? And maybe, I can't see what Walters is putting in the chat. I can bring that up. Okay.
He's being an idiot.
All right. Yeah, it is. Is it Sunday on games? Yep. It's only Sunday. It's always only been Sunday.
But my FanDuel busts of the week are Josh Jacobs for 8,500 and then his teammate Devontae Adams for 8,500. Adams is still one of the top wide receivers in the league, but he has Jarrett Stidham as a quarterback, which might actually be an improvement over Derek Carr. Carr's been too busy crying to see that Devontae Adams is always open. And then Jacobs, with Stidham in, is probably going to be seeing more loaded boxes.
Okay, hey, we can't be doing that. We can't be knocking. It's obviously, it's not the same category as mental health, but we can't be knocking, this kind of movement of it's okay for men to be sensitive. All right, we gotta, can't be doing that, Josh.
Did I knock him? No, I just said.
Yeah, you just said he's too busy crying. What do you mean?
Yeah,
that was definitely a
see through his
diss.
tears.
That was a
What are you
diss, and
talking
you
about?
know it. Josh, do not sit here and play your games. That was a diss.
I never insulted him. I just said he's too busy crying. And so, yeah, and Walter's, pot called kettle black. But, Gar, who's your bust of the week?
I don't think Nick Chubb's going to do very good this week. Nick Chubb is the running back for the Cleveland Browns. Washington defense has been very good. Carson Wentz is starting again. Who knows what that means for how the game script goes, but Washington defense is a lot better than I think most people give them credit for. They're definitely underrated. Real football fans will know how good that defense is, but since Deshaun Watson, I mean, it's kind of a lost year for the Browns. We'll see how they come back and fight back next year, but I just suspect that entire offense to struggle, and so if it's not a favorable game script for Nick Chubb, he might find the end zone, maybe 10 points. I think it's probably fair for Nick Chubb, but that's not a very good value, and so most of my busts this year have been bad values on good players, so I don't like Nick Chubb this week, Mr. Josh.
Okay.
Do you want to, unless you have anything else to say about the FanDuel, do you want to move on to the weekly preview and talk about our league our league championship match?
No, I just wanted to agree to your point that when they took out the social aspect, definitely ruined it. Not as fun to go into the contests and copy and do all that jazz. Hope they revert that change because I hate it. I will say that I have been doing a lot more of the daily leagues. I mentioned that last week. I did win one again last week, so that's on my back. So obviously, I entered in 5 more this week.
Jesus, Josh.
But I will say that I'm off to a good start. Probably going to jinx myself by talking about it, but I did have Dalton Schultz in 3 of the 5 and CeeDee Lamb in 3 of the 5, and I had and so obviously with 3 out of the 5 and 3 out of 5, there's some overlap there. So there's a couple leagues where I've pulled off ahead, going up against Zeke in some leagues who only got 9 points, and yeah, but.
Right. And to be clear, your point was talking about the sleeper over-under contest. I don't know if that was said at the beginning, but they used to be anytime anyone, because we have like a group, right? It's with Al and Ben and Glick and a bunch of other people. Anytime someone would put in a bet, we would all get like a notification, be like, hey, this person just entered this contest. And you could go in and be like, all right, I want to copy it, I don't want to copy it. Or just look at it. And it seems like the last couple of weeks, yeah, like you said, they've taken out that notification where we don't know when our group is betting or what its group is doing. We still have like the group chat, but the chat was pretty much just filled with people entering contests. And so now if I'm not getting notified anymore when people are doing contests, I'm going to think about it much less, and I won't be following along. So I do think Sleeper made a mistake there. But that's just for my personally. There's probably a bunch of absolute idiots who are in groups with like hundreds of people, and they're like, stop the notifications, please. But that's on them. So, yeah, with that, Josh, I'm glad you're doing well in your daily drafts, and I hope you continue to do well. Maybe pay off that mortgage early with all your winnings. But now, are we ready to preview the week here, pal?
Yeah, no, I think Brad's going to win. All right, so moving on. How are your other leagues looking?
Whoa. I mean, you have to break this down, Josh. So we have the Hidden Oaks Mega Bowl, the greatest game in all of fantasy. We have What'll They Do Next? Bradley Knupp playing at running up that hill, Eric Szymanski. It's going to be a guaranteed brand new champion. We've already built it up a little bit. Eric Szymanski, out of all, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of all 18 players, only one player's played so far, and that was Eric had his kicker go, Brett Maher. And that's a 10 points out of a kicker, so that's not a bad showing for a kicker. But as we sit here right now, Eric is currently projected to win 143.3 to Bradley's 120.5. Of course, Bradley has been carried a lot here, and I won't sit here and rant forever. But before we sit here and go through the players a bit, who do we like? Just looking at it, and then we'll kind of go player by player, matchup by matchup. But Eric is obviously the heavy favorite based on those projections. But what are you feeling, Josh? What do your plums say? Josh, this is the part where you talk?
Oh, my plums don't talk, so that's kind of what they were saying. But I don't know. I guess my gut reaction is that the Chiefs stack is pretty solid in favor of Brad, but they are going up against the Denver D. I don't know. My gut says Brad. I think that's how I'm leaning. But obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if Eric just absolutely stomped on me either.
Yeah, see, because that's tough, right? Because I feel like a lot of these players are playing like not very favorable championship matchups. Like you said, Patrick Mahomes, Jerick McKinnon, Travis Kelce, all playing that Denver defense, which we know like the Chiefs can come over any defense, but then Alvin Kamara is playing at Philly. That's not a great matchup. Jalen Waddle with with Teddy Bridgewater's playing at New England, so it kind of looks rough for Bradley. Then you go over to Eric. And Eric has Josh Jacobs playing at San Francisco, Jamar Chase playing versus Buffalo, Tyreek Hill playing at New England. So it's like both these guys, I don't know that there's really ideal matchups anywhere. Tom Brady has been garbage this year. James Conner, not that good either. So, I don't know. How do we... you just keep saying you keep feeling Brad, but do you want to go do you think it's just that Chiefs stack? Do you think Devonta Smith has another 30-point week, or what do you think ends up being the difference here in the matchup?
Well, I think the difference maker is going to be the one who scores the most points. That's probably going to be the one that's...
Shut the fuck up, Josh.
No, I think that the Chiefs... the difference here is if Patrick Mahomes gets to, tear the Denver defense apart like Denver's opponent did last week, and I forget who they played. But because that means that
they got stomped on by Baker Mayfield, right? That was what happened to the Broncos last week.
That's what it was. So I mean, if Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce find a rapport, and Kelce gets a tutter and 100 yards, I think that should be enough. But then, I think it's tough to say. Devonta Smith and Gardner Minshew had that solid connection last week, I believe, and so
just last week.
So I think that that's going to continue, since it does sound like they're going to rest Jalen Hurts again this week, and then it's hard to say what the difference maker is going to be. Both of these teams, this matchup stink.
Right. What do you guys think in the chat? We got Eric's and Walter's listening along. Do we think that Bradley, who you guys kind of know but not really, do you think Bradley will win, or do you think Eric will win? And we can go through the teams if you want us to, but just go ahead and give us your thoughts in the chat, just so we can document it. Eric's, what do you think? Do you think Bradley or Eric, just based on the two whitest names? Oh, okay, that makes sense. Eric is picking Eric, or Eric's is picking Eric. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. So Josh's official pick is Brad. I think I have to go Eric here, just because he has been so dominant all year long. I feel like I have to go with Eric here. Do you have anything else you want to say about this matchup particular, Josh? And then we'll just go through the other scenarios as well as we sit here.
No, nothing too specific.
All right, and we won't go through the other matchups in great detail like we just did that one, but Josh has Brad, I have Eric, Walters has Brad, Eric's has Eric, and that's the final votes. Josh, who's going to take home the 50 for third, you or your wife, and why?
Me, but also my wife, because we share bank accounts.
So this is so there's no pride in the Mitchell household. That's kind of what I predicted. You guys would be talking a little trash, because I know you guys both like to win. Of course, you play to win the game. You guys are more of those, quote unquote, serious contenders. You're not the casuals just here to have fun. So I mean, is there competitiveness inside the household? Will you guys be talking a little trash on Sunday or no?
I probably won't be talking trash, but there is definitely competitiveness. We do enjoy winning. And so I do think that, obviously it doesn't matter who wins the money, but there is going to be that pride. And I like to see I want to see my name in the standings in the Hidden Oaks League history, where it has that bronze medal. I want to be that person.
All right. And then going back to just very quickly, how do we feel about on the trophy? Which name do you think looks better on the trophy? What'll they do next, or running up that hill? I think as far as team names go, that might be kind of some of our weakest team names ever to go on the trophy, but how do you feel about which team name is better between Eric and Brad? I wanted to ask you about that, but I forgot earlier.
Brad's.
All right, there you go. All right, so you and Nikita are playing each other. We have T and Derek fighting over 2 extra ping pong balls. Just who do you think is going to win, T or Derek?
T.
All right, we have Jeremy and Willie. They're fighting for $25 down the consolation bracket and 5 extra ping pong balls in the lottery next year. Do you think Jeremy or Willie will win? The Hot Chub Time Machine versus Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Jeremy.
All right, and then lastly, Jamie and Jesse, the Dak Street Boys versus I Need More Help. They are fighting to avoid having the dumpster fire medallion. They avoid being hot garbage. Whoever loses that matchup between Jamie and Jesse will have to be the dumpster fire of the league. Who do you think loses? Who do you think has to take home that medallion, Josh?
Jesse.
Suck it, nerd. All right.
You might as well just give it to him tonight.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I told Hammer to bring it down, so we'll see. But Josh, you are not...
Jesse had Derrick Henry in his lineup, so...
That shows how much he's paying attention. All right. So Josh, you're not in any championship matchups, correct? Not to rub it in, but I just want to confirm. All right.
Hang on.
Ooh,
Best ball.
That's right. Have you or Ryan had anyone play yet?
Oh, yeah. Brett Maher put up 10.
Ooh, is that your only kicker?
Yeah, I think so. I think I have I don't know. It's kind of like last year where I think, oh no, maybe I didn't have Brett Maher go. I had Dak Prescott and the Cowboys defense.
Gotcha. All right. I'm in a couple championships. I'm playing against KOG in my expensive light league. I've got Cousins, Mixon's, Chubb, Mike Evans, T. Higgins, Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Patriots defense and Greg Zuerlein. Playing against KOG was Patrick Mahomes, Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, DJ Moore, CD Lamb, Jalen Waddle, Greg Joseph, and the Steelers defense. Josh, am I going to win or lose that one?
Sure.
All right, perfect. I'm also playing against Al in the Champs Branch Out League. Walters, who do you think's going to win the Champs Branch Out? And Eric, you can see there too. Do you guys think I'm going to beat Al, or do you think Al's going to become victorious in the Champs Branch Out League? You can let us know in the chat. And then also, I'm in the championship in the Guillotine League versus Jesse and Al. So Al's kind of all over the place in championships. Jesse sneak into the Guillotine. No one saw that one coming, but let's see what the chat here said. I don't have it right in front of me. Ooh, all right. And you guys are splitting your vote again. Eric thinks Al's going to win. And Eric's probably on come Tuesday or Wednesday. I want you to prepare some sort of... I had Dave, who got kicked out of the league last year. I had him put in the chat just like some little blurb about, hey, just some goodbye, everyone. I'll miss you. It was the hard fought, whatever. So just put together some little goodbye message because I will be removing you from the league next week. So have that prepared. And then... yeah, we'll see whether Al or I can pick it out. It certainly helps for me that Jalen Hurts will not be playing, so fuck Al. But Eric's will be removed from the league swiftly, and so you can't win them all. Josh, is there anything you want to talk about New Year's, about the year of 2022, about fantasy football, about the Packers, any storylines or anything? Who do you think's going to win, the Vike or the Pack?
Well, I'm hoping the Packers do, but I would not be surprised if the Vikings did because they made a deal with the devil to make it to the Super Bowl and lose again. So it's just a absolute...
But what if it's a Vikings-Bills Super Bowl? Does the world explode?
Hopefully. No, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that the AFC belongs to the Steelers. They're going to sneak in and make it to the bowl. And then...
Really?
But I do want to point out that Walters is indeed playing Jay in our Victoria's Secret League. Walters has already started the complaining, saying that all of his stars are out when Tony Pollard's the only one that had been officially declared out at the time. But now it sounds like Jalen Hurts is out. And so it just goes back to a couple of weeks ago when I said, he's throwing mirrors at the ground trying to create bad luck. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, games need to be played, and there's a reason that the games are played. But yeah, enjoy second place, Walters. At least you made some money. And your idea for creating a Champs Branch Out Dynasty League is ridiculous because the point of the Champs Branch Out is to kick out the lowest scoring team, and you can't do that in a Dynasty League. You're an idiot. Go Packers. Goodbye.
I mean, that's not very nice. But to your point, Walters, I had thought about that just this week because the Hidden Oaks Dynasty League is probably filled with a couple too many casuals and then deflate these balls. So if those leagues ever happen to end at the same time, maybe we combine them and create a better Dynasty League. And then I can also be in one less league. So the idea itself of having a new Dynasty League isn't the worst, but I think I need to clean up the Hidden Oaks and the Deflate These Balls Empire League, and then maybe we can combine forces with Al there. But that I have been thinking about that recently, but I don't believe either of those leagues will be ending this year, so we'll have to see what happens next year. But I'm excited for the new year. Thank you, everyone, for rocking with us in 2022. This is like our 40th podcast of the year already, which is insane. Of course, we split them up. We're doing 2 a week and this and that, so the number's inflated. But we appreciate everyone who's listened so much, and we'll have our championship recap on Tuesday night. And then, Josh, I guess it's up to you and I about how we want to do, because we all have to do our retrospective, of course. And if I don't think we want to keep going, but we could just keep going and talk about the playoff matchups and the real NFL and this and that. But we have at least, I think, probably 2 more podcasts. The recap just for the championship week, and then do the retrospective like on the studs and duds and the 272 and this and that. So at least probably 2 more shows, and we'll figure out when those are going to be. Maybe we'll keep going, maybe we won't. But we thank everyone so much for listening. We'll be back here a couple more times. And I'm vamping because I'm in the wrong folder in my computer to play the outro song. So, Josh, if there's any last word, you've already said go Packers once, but is there anything else you want to put out there before the new year, before 2022 ends?
Go Packers.
All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. We love you, and we will talk to you on Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Bye-bye. You boys like Mexico? Eric, you've watched way too many American pop culture films. No, Eric, you're white. You're safe. All right, that's a show.